Hi, welcome back. Today's episode is going to be the 50 signs that you are a spiritual gangster. This is the list or bullet points of lessons that are experienced and learned for the true heroes of this story, the chosen ones, the 144,000, the victors, not victims. Number one, feelings that you don't or have never belonged here and don't want to be here. The vibration is different. Number two, people take advantage of you, of your wisdom, your knowledge, mock you, ridicule you, create childhood traumas in you that make you think less than of yourself and not trust your intuition and your knowing any further. This can be in the form of friends, family, siblings, parents, but they ignore what you have to say and they don't trust what you have to say, particularly because you are young. Number three, you don't fit in anywhere. And this is a simple one. It's because the beacons are not meant to stand out. They're not, or excuse me, the beacons are meant to stand out. You're not meant to blend in. You are a 5D creator. And once you've learned acceptance of yourself, then it becomes a blessing that you no longer feel badly that you don't fit in. Number four, you're a natural born leader. You do not follow the status quo. You question everything. You're not easily persuaded. You are a true truth seeker, a follower of Christ consciousness, not of organized religions or dogmas or societal patterns, because it is meant for you to bring in and bring forward Christ consciousness once again. Number six, being yourself triggers the demons in others. You find yourself being attacked verbally or physically by the haters, the naysayers, and the ones who wish to just get you to stoop to their level and lower your vibration. These are the fake people who wear masks in public and show a different face behind closed doors. Number seven, you dim your light around people that you don't know or in public areas, particularly in unfamiliar areas. You don't want to attract attention. And on some level, you already have a knowing that you are a natural magnet. So you cloak or you shield your light. You retreat within your shell, much like the Cancerian crab does. And by the way, all 12 zodiac signs have Cancer placement in their chart for a reason, because we are supposed to come from love. Number eight, you have a vigilante nature in the sense of wanting justice for the evildoers or the wrongdoers in the world. You desire the balance to be restored, and you are called to be actively involved in some sense of bringing this into fruition. Um, all of you are healers for karmic family debts and cycles that repeat and karmic injustices of all types that are in the world. Number nine, you have feelings of loneliness, no one to truly connect with, until you accept and become comfortable in being alone. Don't feel like an alien anymore and embrace the idea that you are the black sheep. You're the beautiful sheep that stands out apart from the rest, calling in the light and basking in the glory of the sun. Parts of your awakening are solitary lessons. Though it feels bad in the moment to be alone, you will learn in time that it was necessary in order for you to grow. And you were never truly alone anyway. Your angels and God were always around you. Number 10, you ponder deep philosophical questions, meanings of life, explanations of how we really got here, where we came from, who we are, and what we really can do to change, to be effective change. You feel like there's something more that there is for us to do. Number 11, notice that total strangers can sometimes just hate you for being you. This is people who will just walk up to you on the street and be ugly with you because they see your light shining. They're envious of that. So keep in mind that you have to come from a compassionate place with the haters, because they're just people who are seeing reflections of what's possible within them that they're not allowing out, and it angers them. They're mad at their self, really, not you. And once you come to understand that, you can rise above it, and not feel like it's a direct attack on you personally, because it never is. Even if their words are trying to say that it is, that's never really what it is in the psychological part of it. Number 12, you attract broken people, people with severe depression, schizophrenia, low self esteem, low self love, narcissistic tendencies, um, bullies, or people with huge egos that would rather scapegoat all of their problems and issues than to own them themselves. People with PTSD or bipolar um, people are also ones that you will be attracting into your life. And this, again, is for a reason. It's because you're a healer and a helper, and you have a need to be a helper and a healer and a teacher for others. But until you learn the lessons of where you personally are responsible for your own health and healing, and you can truly walk in that by example, then you can truly be the teacher that is necessary for the others, and that is how you truly help them to heal, is by healing yourself and walking in that example. Number 13, life is more challenging for you, to say the least. You have more obstacles, more traumas, more pain, little to no love or nurturing from outside of yourself, particularly from parents or family or friends. And that's part of the journey of this self-awareness and self-love and self-actuation and true happiness, is to find these things within yourself and not be codependent on another for approvals or acceptance or love of you, or respect even of you. You have to learn this for yourself, and then you know how to portray it to others, to demonstrate and use by example what you will or will not accept from other people in your energy exchanges. But oftentimes, these types of people who have the more challenging lives will find themselves in some dark hole, some type of drug addiction, or really low level vibration type of atmosphere that they literally have to crawl out of and rejoin the light within themselves. And then, those are the people that are like the drug addicted homeless man who becomes a great preacher and can stand at the pulpit and preach with passion and conviction in what he says, because he's lived it. He knows it. He knows that redemption very well, that resurrection, that phoenix rising from the ashes, so to speak, or that butterfly effect that can happen from your self discoveries. Also, this can create like chronic illnesses within us, these deep, dark thoughts of negativity from all of our challenging experiences, because the more trauma and pain you endure from others and ugly words, the more you start to question that within yourself. And even though you could say, I'm a good person, why does this keep happening to me? On some level, you don't truly believe you're a good person, or you would be able to stop allowing this to happen to you, because it's about transmuting the energy and flipping your perspectives and all of those things. Um, Number 14, you've always had a knowing that you're meant to impact the world in some way. You know that you came here to help change this world as we know it into the more energetically agreeable vibrations that are necessary for all of us to flourish and blossom and grow. Number 15, you feel targeted or attacked by demons. Uh, Demons will work through other people as adversaries for the dark, because the dark doesn't want to be snuffed out. It wants to continue its control, and the light is actually taking the control away from the dark. The more you shine your light, the less darkness there is in the world. So again, it starts with you, that person in the mirror. Um, though I will say briefly that all of those uh, dark entities, those dark characters in your life, they have a role to play in your journey and in their own soul growth journey. So it's never about hating the demons either. It's about understanding their place in all of it and their purpose, because it's purposefully placed there. Our creators are intelligent beings who put all of these things in place intentionally for us to learn, for us to be able to learn. Number 17, you have a strong desire, even compulsive at times, of researching our truths, ripping open the underbelly of the matrix, exposing it first for yourself and then to others. But also, there's another level to this lesson where you're learning the balance in that um, you can't chuck it down people's throats. You have to use your throttle, much like driving a car. Know how to dial it back and slow down, and tell only those who are truly seeking it from you, not the ones who are asleep. I mean, we're even taught in life in general that if you know someone who sleepwalks, you are not supposed to just abruptly awaken them from the sleepwalking, because it can be detrimental to their health. It's dangerous to their psyche. So you can't force them to wake up. They have to do it when they're ready. All you can do is help to protect them in the meantime. Number 18, naturally, you are a kind person, but you also suffer from this inner anger and frustration um, towards society, which makes you appear to be passive aggressive. Because though you want everyone to be good, when they don't choose that, or when you've trusted the fact that you're an energy reader and you know that they're not going to choose the right thing, even if their words are trying to tell you that it is, you tend to want to be that person that's in their face about it, that calls them out, that just shoots from the hip and doesn't sugarcoat any of it, to really make them acknowledge that you know that they're not going to do the right thing. And um, again, this comes with levels of growth. So you've learned that much that you can trust this and you want to call people out on it. But then you level up a bit more and you grow through what you go through, and you understand that there's no need to call them out any further on it. And then you can just draw the line simply with the ones who would just assume be fake people or energy vampires or whatever it is that they may be, and not allow them into your energy and into your interaction. It's a lesson in clear boundaries. And this is when you're truly standing in what I like to say in tarot is your true form of the Queen of Swords stance, where she doesn't take anybody's shit, and she'll cut a bitch if necessary, right? Except you're not going to physically harm someone. You just know how to cut them out of your life cleanly, concisely, and easily, because you're that type of warrior now, and you no longer need that codependency and approval of others. Number 19, people will hate on you, but at the same time steal your words, your teachings, your stories, or copy your ideas, um, steal your MO, claim it as their own. Like blatant plagiarism can take place, where your work is being portrayed by them as their ideas and their work, while at the same time they're defecating your character and cutting you down so that people don't listen to you. Um, but this is because you're a magnet, not just for real people, but also for the fake. And a lot of people try to fake it until they can make it, because they really bad want to make it. So just remember and remind yourself that you are the true 1% that has the true creative control over this planet. And when you acknowledge that there are people, or recognize people that are doing these types of things in your life, you don't need to be a hater. You don't need to be hurt or feel betrayed in any way, shape, or form, because this is simply someone who their soul journey isn't at the same level as your soul journey yet. And just accept that and move away from them. Because eventually they're going to know exactly who they need to turn to when they're ready to actually come from a place of truth and a place of their heart and their Christ consciousness. They're going to know that they can turn to you. And in that time, you need to be in your Christ consciousness frame of space and embrace them and welcome them in lovingly and respectfully and honorably for the genuine um, necessity of learning how to level up and become a better soul themselves. Because every single soul that levels up creates this beautiful ripple effect, butterfly effect in our world that makes our world a better place to live. Number 20, you typically have experienced more painful things in your childhood than positive things, whether this be through ugly parents, narcissistic parents, neglective parents, abusive parents, parents that don't know how to show love and affection, don't know how to show honor and respect, don't know how to defend you properly and protect you when someone else wrongs you. Um, and again, this goes back to specific reasons that you are a healer and a teacher. And in order for you to understand how to be a very good healer and teacher, you have to experience this firsthand, because that forced need to change is how we learn things and we adapt more quickly and more efficiently. So it's necessary for us to experience these things in life. And again, that was their role to play, and they were only doing what they had the script or the tools to perform with, right? It's acceptance. It's truly about letting it go and accepting bygones. Number 21, understanding that the spoken word or the spelling of a word or thoughts, strong thoughts, are vibrations that actually cast spells, that create, that manifest into physical form. Understanding and learning that you are the true alchemists of energy manifestation. You feel a sense of duty to flip the script, reverse the negative aspects, or transmute a situation or an energetic exchange that you are feeling into something more positive, or to retreat from it. And again, once you learn how to truly transmute that energy, you will no longer desire to retreat from it. You'll stand firm and face it. Number 22, you enjoy your freedom and will rebel against anything and anyone who tries to restrict it. You are a true rebel with a cause, a wild stallion, unbreakable. You are like Braveheart. You want liberation and you strive with a slave no more type of mentality and attitude. Number 23, you experience spiritual attacks of character from friends and family, and you watch how they behave when you say no or draw clear lines in the sand and use your boundaries. And again, this is lessons in self love. These people will tend to shame you, put you down, mock you, guilt trip you, gaslight you, accuse you of betraying them in all ways possible, gossip about you, put you into third party situations, etc. Love to you will feel constantly hijacked until you learn true self love. And in that, there are no consequences for your clear boundaries. Number 24, you are sent to or born into certain locations, environments, or places in order to transmute the energy and air them out. So even throughout life, you may find yourself in tricky or sticky or icky situations, but you come out smelling like a rose, so to speak, because you are the one that's aware of it. And you're awakening to who you are and how you can raise the vibration and transmute the energy of that situation. And so, in understanding this, you also understand that wherever you were placed upon this earth at any season for any reason, it was always for you to effectively transmute the energy of that particular space on the map on earth. Number 25, you break generational curses, family karmic cycles, because you were chosen by God and your ancestors for this, and you agreed and volunteered to be here for it. It is your duty and your honor and your privilege and your lesson to learn how to heal yourself and end the karmic cycles that you find yourself repeating in life, whether it be with narcissistic people or with liars, cheaters, thieves, whatever the situation is. You transmute and transform your own life. And in doing so, you learn how to break the karmic cycles that are familial lineages of curses, or however you want to look at that. Number 26, you seek solace and solitude. You want to be alone because you pretty much don't like to be around other people. And let's face it, awakening is an exhausting effort. So you're lonely, but at the same time, you don't want to be around people because you don't like their energy, particularly if it's in a place that you're not familiar with. You don't want to be there. And a lot of you will find yourselves longing to meet your soul tribe. And I want you to know that you will once you've met yourself. You need to truly meet yourself first and be comfortable in being alone. Be comfortable in who you are, whether you're alone or in a group of people, and not have to feel like you need to dim your light or dial it back all the time. I mean, you still use the throttle, certainly. At times it is necessary to quieten down or to step back a bit. And we can all get when that is. But to be there all the time is completely opposite of being comfortable in who you are. And again, these feelings of not liking people and preferring to just be in that solitary energy, but also feeling lonely for being in that solitary energy is another one of those catch-22 type traps where you can find yourself drowning in sadness and depressions and addictions, things that are negative towards you. And it's time to learn to ask yourself and really find the reasons for these needs, for these addictions or these sadnesses or these low self-talks that you have with yourself, so that you can heal it and release it. In realizing who you truly are and what you're truly afraid of, you can move forward and truly set yourself free, ushering in real happiness and a real way to live life. Really, truly living. Number 27, you observe the world very closely. You're a watcher, you're a philosopher, an analyzer of the human condition and the human consciousness. You are in this world, but not of it. And again, this is more reflection on being philosophical, but also about being psychological, needing to understand the human psyche, why we work the way we do, why we think and act the way we do, and how and where it all went wrong or went astray, so that we can correct it in a more honorable, loving way in first ourselves and then teaching that to others. Now having the tools to teach it properly because you broke it down and dissected it to understand it in depth. When they can be taught how to gain, obtain, and retrain their brain, that's when you know for sure that you did it yourself. Einstein said it perfectly. If you can explain it to a 6-year-old and get him to understand it, then you know what you're talking about. Number 28, feelings of being stuck, unfulfilled, lackluster, bored, like there's more out there, but you just haven't found it. Perhaps you'd prefer to live in a different era where humans were more active and dependent on their instincts and their intuition or their survival skills to feed themselves and to create shelters. Maybe you're a thrill seeker or an adrenaline junkie, and that's how you quench your thirst. Number 29, you're open-minded to new concepts, new ideas, and people's new ways of thinking. When you don't follow the dogmas and you don't follow organized religions or societal strict rules, strict guidelines, you are naturally more open minded because you are tapping into your third eye. And so you're more accepting of other people's ideas or fresh perspectives or even old ones from the past to go revisit them again and apply them to our current day again because they were necessary and purposeful and good. Number 30, life feels boring and mundane in your job, your friends, your family, etc., until you find your true mission in life and fully accept that. And then this new passion in you ignites, and all of life feels fulfilling and exciting to you. Because when you do what you love and you love what you do, it's a win win. Everything in life balances out harmoniously for you. Number 31, animals and children are naturally drawn to you because they sense your kind, genuine good nature and higher vibration, even if you personally feel like you're a restless soul. And you are a restless soul for a reason, because you are struggling with whether or not to embrace your mission, your calling, and your true self acceptance. But others feel you as peaceful, pleasant, safe, trustworthy company for them to be around, particularly animals and children. Number 32, you always have pure intentions with everyone that you meet. There are no thoughts of ulterior motives or acts of selfishness. What can they do for you first? You are a rare and genuine breed, and so then are often misunderstood or untrusted in your genuine, rare honesties. You also begin to learn discernment rather quickly from this. And when you trust that your instincts and intuition are leading you the right way, then you will also walk away from people and places and things as quickly and as genuinely as you once appeared. You won't call them out any further or make a scene. You'll just bow out. You'll trust that if they are meant to reappear in your life, they will, of their own accord, because you are no longer in the runner chaser energies and have no issues with codependencies once you've learned this lesson. And you will trust that they will come back to you if that is part of their journey's uh, plan. Number 33, some days you can feel outrage and disgust at the world, whether it's your daily life or the neighborhood or the world at large. You feel aggravated, mad, just sick about it until you realize that you have control over so much more than we were taught. And then you use that power, that great conviction with great responsibility, because there's no need for anger when you know that you can change situations, with compassionate detachment being the key. You don't let the emotions drown you in any one particular subject or another. You focus on what needs to be remedied and you rise above the emotions of it. You ground and center in your knowing rather than being loose because you're drowning in emotion. We could use, for an example, all of the lives that have recently been lost in the flooding in Libya and Turkey and Ukraine, Uganda, sorry, and all of those areas out there from the Mediterranean Sea storm. Um, a huge amount of lives were lost. But rather than do like we did with uh, Fukushima's tsunami, and we just watched it play out on TV and cried and mourned them before they were even all dead. If you focus on what you could do to change that outcome and save those souls, and you're not caught up in the emotion of it, but you're still coming from that heart place, you can effectively create a different outcome to things. So emotional detachment is the key, because in the moment, particularly the more um, emotional attachment we have to someone that we are aware of these changes happening to, the more emotionally drowning it can be for us. So let's say your child has a car accident Are you focused on, oh my God, this is my child, this is my child, this is my child that's in this pain? Or are you focused on, this is how I heal this child? From a calmness, a centered space, a place of knowing and trusting and walking in your faith that this is a God given natural law ability that you have, that you can utilize if you're not too caught up in drowning in your emotion. Number 34, you're constantly throughout your life belittled, told that you're nothing, ridiculed by parents, family, friends, whoever, people in relationships with you, making you feel like something is wrong with you or that you're defective, because something in you is different, and that's something you should be ashamed of. But then you come to learning in your lessons that, yeah, you are different, and yeah, you are that black sheep, and yeah, you really do stand out apart from everyone else, and that that's something to be proud of and to stand firm in and to hold your head proud about. And pride and ego are a necessary thing that God gave us. So don't let anybody ever tell you that you shouldn't have them, because you should. Everything about this whole spiritual movement has been hijacked and effed up by a bunch of people telling you how to think and feel and how to get rid of and shame and shove down more of you. And I am telling you, you need to honor all of it. It's a yin and a yang for a reason. It's a whole you. You can't love you completely if you don't love completely everything about you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If there's things you need to see that you see room for change in, change them one at a time. Don't be overwhelmed about it. But don't ever be ashamed or embarrassed because of who you are and what flaws you have. Because flaws are beautiful imperfections that are diamonds in the rough waiting to shine. Number 35, you are in this world but not of it. You are a disciple of Christ. You have Christ consciousness. You do not follow cults or dogmas or any type of organized religions or crime syndicates, whatever you want to call it. Number 36, you see repeating numbers often: 1111, 111, 22, 222, 444, 666, 888, 777. It doesn't matter what they are. Repeating numbers, right? Even things like 2121 or something like that, repeating numbers. This is the universe's way of telling you that you're on the right track of waking up. Now, how does this work? Well, every thought of energy that you put into the world, the universe, is data transfer that's being collected by the universal secretaries, right? Being collected and gathered in the quantum field and decided upon what you need more of. So the more positive you're putting out, the more positive things you're going to put back. The more gratitude you're putting out, the more things you're going to get that you can be grateful for. The more doom and gloom you put out, the more doom and gloom you're going to get back. It's that constant exchange. When you're seeing these numbers, this is about your soul growth evolution. This is you. This is like your own God nod coming back to you in a beautiful mirrored reflection to tell you, yep, you're on the right track. Yep, keep going. Good job. Yep, you did this. And the beauty in all of this, the all encompassing, mind blowing beauty in all of that, and it doesn't take away from God because, again, intelligent design, intelligent creative design, built in by default, you as a creator, you're putting that data information out there. And if it's good for you, it's going to show you. And if it's bad for you, it's going to show you. And that default system, you approved of. You approved of that message. Yes, you did. That was you. That was me. That was him. That was her. That was all of us collectively. Quantum consciousness, Christ consciousness, agreed upon it. Agreed upon it. This is how we learn lessons. This is how we know where we're at. This is how we gauge it, for good or for bad. So when you're finding those feathers or those pennies on the street or you're seeing those repetitive numbers, or you're hearing a song on the radio that you were just thinking of, those are synchronicities and God nods that you, in essence, created as breadcrumbs for yourself to find your way back to divinity. You could actually look at yourself as being a time traveler that knew that you would go through these things. And once you experience them, this is how you would know for sure to keep following that trail and to go down that gingerbread road, right? 37, you feel like an unsung hero. You see the potential for humans and their possibilities for a beautiful life, but you never feel like anyone ever notices the good that you're doing in the world. So you're someone who never stops choosing to go against the social norms to evolve. But you don't necessarily get the honor or respect or notoriety that you wish that you were getting to feel good about it. And again, this goes back to learning how to not have ego and self love and not being codependent on anyone for your acceptance or your value, your worth, and your gifts that are offered to the world. It's of no consequence at that point once you understand that and you liberate yourself to that self realization. That's when you come to your true freedom because there's no more need for that acknowledgement from others. You fully embrace and accept yourself, and that's huge. Um, and again, poetic justice, once you release all of those things and you no longer have the need or the desire for that acknowledgement from other people, that is when you will actually be vindicated in knowing that you are honored and respected and um, effectively making change to other people and the world. So, much like when you give up on love and then love smacks you in the face and you find the greatest love of your life, right? It's that same concept. You've let go of how you get from point A to point C, and you just walk in this knowing that if it's meant for you, it'll come. And then it does. 38, you'll have people randomly lash out at you or turn on you out of nowhere with any sense of just cause for it. These are the people that see the validation and acceptance that you have found within yourself, and that will trigger them in their own less than mentality and create this lashing out that they will do toward you. Because nobody likes a soul that's on a higher horse than them, don't you know? And it doesn't feel good to them. From their perspective, you're looking down on them. Whereas from your perspective, for your true soul growth, if you've truly grown the proper way without ego, you're up there on that horse looking at them, not down on them. They don't seem less than to you just because they happen to be standing on the ground and you're on a horse. You don't see a difference there, but they still see the difference. They still see you as being on a high horse. So you need to also be consciously aware of them. When people are lashing out at you, that's how they're viewing you. And the best way to smooth that over and make it better and transmute that energy is to assure them that you are not looking down upon them, that they are your equal, even if you're on a horse and they're on the ground. Number 39, you may be the type of person that tends to blow up on people who consistently violate your boundaries. Now that you've learned your self validation, your self love, your self worth, and how to create those clear boundaries, when people cross them, you can become volatile. But that means that you haven't yet mastered how to execute clear boundaries like a true leader while remaining stoic. But you will. Number 40, you find it very difficult and restless in your soul to work a traditional 9 to 5 job in a repetitive factory or anything else of that nature where it feels boring or it irritates your soul, and you refuse to conform or be an order taker in this sense. So perhaps you go through a lot of jobs in life where you will quit them because you just feel restless. You just feel like you can't be there in that energy. It doesn't feel right to you for whatever reason. Number 42, you seem to be stuck in dark situations often until you learn to walk through the dark and the fire without fear and face it head on in full confidence and composure and faith in who you are and who God is for you. Raising your frequency and your vibration isn't about just being happy or positive per se. Being confident and solid in faith. A mason using concrete to hold his foundation in place. You have your feet securely planted in concrete, securely and firmly, unwavering in your faith of who you are, what you are, and why you're here. And that all encompassing knowing includes God in every word of it. That's the true high vibing. That's how people become successful in business and in health and in relationships and in their learning and their education. That is real confidence. And that real confidence is real power. And where there's a will, there's a way, baby. Zero doubt, 100% determination. Zero doubt is you walking in your faith, and that 100% determination is you walking in your knowing. Number 43, you will experience deep levels of betrayal from all walks of life, whether you know them or you don't know them. Deep levels of betrayal. This is usually in the forms of abuse, molestation, physical abuse, neglects, cheated on by your partners, talked about, gossiped about by your friends. Deep, deep levels of abandonment and being let down by others. The hard lessons here are in forgiveness and seeing from a higher perspective. Because the people that perpetrated these afflictions upon you are also troubled souls in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not making excuses for them. I'm giving you the honest truth about we're all damaged goods. And it's been a repetitive cycle, and it's your job. You're here to stop those repetitive cycles from continuing, recognizing that we are all a victim first before we become the perpetrator, and ending the karmic cycles, ending the karmic debt so that these cyclical events no longer take place. Education and learning and growth and true compassion is how we change these things that happen to us in life that are horrendous. And also in understanding that the more these levels of abandonment and abuse happen to you, even though you knew you're a good person, it shouldn't be happening to you, particularly if you're a child. Nothing terrible should ever happen to children, ever. And it's never their fault. It was never their fault. They never asked for that lesson in that sense. But the soul itself knew that there would be things that would happen, that you, trials and tribulations that you would have to suffer through in order to find your way out of the darkness and be the light that you are meant to be. In all of these levels of abuse and abandonment, we ask ourselves, why is this happening to me? Until we realize that we too were talking that negative self-talk and saying that on some level we deserved at least parts of it or some of it that happened to us. Because the longer we experience different levels of traumas and abuses and abandonments from multiple people, we begin to convince ourselves that we must deserve it somewhere. I mean, when you ask yourself or anyone else, why is this happening to me? Aren't I a good person? Something in you doesn't believe that you are, or you wouldn't ask that question. So you have to find where it is in you that you're talking that negative talk to yourself and flip that energy, transmute that energy, because you are a worthy individual. You are enough. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of being treated well by others. And there's nothing wrong with wanting your mate to treat you like a king or a queen and put you on a pedestal. They should. They should treat you as their treasure. And we're always guilted into feeling like that's a wrong thing to wish for. But no, we should most certainly expect our parents to treasure us and put us on a pedestal. And parents should most certainly be expected that their children will look at them that way and put them on a pedestal, because it's about that beautiful exchange of love and protection and never abandoning you, that unconditional love that we should all have for each other. We know that it's there. We know that that's the way it should be. And we're guilted into feeling like that's what we want. And that's wrong. Number 44, people will use your energy, such as psychic vampires, people who will guilt trip you, make you feel due to your obligation to them because you're a people pleaser until you learn your own self worth and self love and your respect. And then your service for others is truly coming from a genuine place of wanting to help them and them alone, and not of needing some type of acceptance or honor or respect from people, that codependency thing. Number 45, you feel a presence of a spirit being or a higher presence around you, particularly in dark times of need. Even if you feel alone, you sense a presence or you hear a voice that will assure you quietly that you are okay. And that is the voice of God and your angels that are always, always with us. Number 46, you initially have a very small group of friends. Automatically, I should say, because to you, it's more about valuing your time and energy. So it's a quality, not quantity, that you seek. Now, sometimes you may tend to have your own narcissistic traits until you've learned to grow and evolve further, where you too will seek out people just to continue, just to keep from being completely lonely. You may have that one friend and only one friend, and they're not a good friend, but you keep them around because at least it's one friend, right? At least you have one friend. But then you come to realize that if that one friend isn't going to be the friend that you need them to be for you, you don't need them around. Number 47, again, repeating things, because multiple lessons are in several of these things for us. Very traumatic situations throughout your life, shocking events occur in your life, shocking, until you learn the confidence in using clear boundaries and that self-worth and that self-love to not betray yourself in honoring and protecting you. You've depended on other people to honor and protect and keep you safe, when truly you're the one that needs to be doing it. Now, yes, when you're a child, that's a different story. I'm not talking about when you were a child, but you did experience in childhood that helps you to learn this lesson later in life. Number 48, you just know things out of nowhere. It's not that you're thinking it, feeling it, or believing it. It's not an opinion. It's just a knowing, and not knowing how you know it. It's in your DNA memory. Number 49, you have a knack for fixing things, people, and places, whether that's mechanical or with wood or electronics or plumbing or furniture or in the healthcare industry or whatever. You're a healer on such a firm foundational level that you want to fix, mend, repair, whatever. Number 50, never getting recognition where you deserve it. Lessons in validation of self, self-love, and not being codependent, but independent. But also, it's a true test of maintaining your higher vibration despite ego's need to be recognized. And again, once you let go of that, it flows back to you beautifully in poetic justice. Most importantly, in reflection of your journey, once you've come to master all 50 of these traits, the one thing that you will truly always be able to say for yourself, and with great pride and joy, is that you really did live life. You truly are rich in experience and knowledge, and you did it your way. Now, I ask you to imagine for a moment that you came here with a knowing that there would be great earth changes, that there would be an awakening, that there would be a new world that comes out of a pole shift and some cataclysm on one level or another, and that you're here to help bring back Christ consciousness. Then you learn later in life about prophecies that actually speak of all of these things. If you understand all of those perceptions, then you also understand that this is why my focus and my passion is so consistent on you waking up to who you truly are, you understanding that there are cyclical events that we can end and never have to deal with again for any of our generations of people, and that there are cyclical celestial events coming that we can effectively change if we know who we are. When I channeled this 50 traits, as I read over them, I said, well, these are all lessons that I've learned. I've experienced all of this. So am I writing to tell people of my experiences? And if so, why did I need to channel that? And very loudly, Uriel said to me, no. Every single soul that reads this or hears this message, it will be so relatable to them on some level or another that they will feel that it was written for them. And it was. It is intentional, but it is written in a form to where all of us can relate to it and understand truly without any further doubt that you are God's chosen people. So you can finally step into your full power and create the right way, the way that you've always wanted to, but never knew how to. And I can teach you that. If you're interested, visit the website and go to special plans and pricings and click on the section that is titled Healers and Lightworkers. Until we meet again, and that will be very soon, be well and be blessed in your love and light.